All right, Chelsea fans, welcome back to another episode of the London is Blue podcast. As your host, Brandon, my co-host Nick and Dan, and we are part 2 of our season preview predictions. Good luck sleeping tonight, Dan. Some of the things you said were pretty crazy. I can only imagine what Twitter had to say after we dropped that one.
I'm sure it's fine. I believe it's called X now as well, not Twitter. You gotta be very specific about these things.
So do we send X's or what are we doing here? I X'd?
You zeet.
Do we think that X is going to give it to Brandon for his predictions? Boom! Got it.
I mean, a briefcase full of cash probably.
Respect to DMX. RIP.
Hitting the logic. Look, we've got more here. A little bit wider of the mark. I think you heard all of the classic ones in part 1, but it just wouldn't be fun if we only stuck to the boring stuff that, is kind of like tied to real world trophies. So anyways, we are going to go into some of the fringe stuff here. A little bit of conspiracy theories. Keep it light, keep it loving. But damn, before we do that, quick request of our lovely, lovely listeners.
I will know lizard people talk coming up, but we just want to say thank you to everybody who supports the London Blue podcast. You can do that through patreon.com/London Blue Pod. Join our wonderful Discord community. They're having a lot of fun over there talking about everything related to the transfer window and other topics as well. You can also support us for free. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Great way to help people find the show. This is the time of year. New Chelsea supporters or existing Chelsea supporters come looking for content. Help them find us, help us find them. Be a matchmaker by leaving a 5-star review. And then look, we are getting very, very close to 27,000 followers on YouTube. We would love more support on YouTube. We're pushing for 30,000, so hit us up there. Cheeky follow. It's not a difficult thing to do, and we would super appreciate it. And that's all I got, because I think we should get back to the awards.
Oh, I mean, we surely can. That is not a problem. But I mean, Nick, we haven't even let you speak at this point. I didn't know if there's anything you wanted to, get off your chest before we got into it.
Yeah, look, the Women's World Cup coverage on Blue Royalty continues. So please, I know it's a separate feed. I know it's a whole different listening habit. I know you have to press play on something else. If you did go subscribe, rate, review, listen to those episodes, it would mean a lot to me personally. Jesse Abdullah are doing a great job of putting those episodes out. Ollie Glanville, friend of the pod, has been guest starring on many of them on the Blue Royalty feed. So all of that being said, that would be awesome. And then, look, the famous CFC, I know we aren't doing any new episodes for a little bit now. Go listen to the summer series that Rick put together. It is absolutely fantastic. You learn a lot about Chelsea. It helps you get deeper in with the club. So those two things near and dear to my heart. Boom.
All right. Well, here we go. Lone Star Hero, the best loney. Was that a cartoon or a character from a cartoon?
I mean, I always think about it as like Guitar Hero. So it's Lone Star Hero.
I bet you played on like Expert, didn't you?
No, I'm terrible at that.
Big rock band guy over here.
My pick in this one, and the listener's pick, is not a terrible choice for Lone Star Hero. There was Cassidy with 26%. There was Angelo Gabriel at 28%. I imagine there's some very minor contingent of people who selected other, because we do have other players who are out on loan, like David Dotcher Fofana, who's already smashing it. So that would be a very great choice, I think, as well. But going to Crystal Palace to play on the left-hand side, likely to start and get a fair number of minutes in that side. It's a place where former other Chelsea players have done well on loan previously. And so Lewis Hall is a slam dunk option, particularly on the back of a new contract. Lewis Hall, easy. This is an easy question, easy answer.
45.6% of the audience agrees with you, which is the winner.
Yeah, I mean, I put it as well. To be fair, I've been a way bigger advocate for Lewis than you have, Dan, so I feel like I can trump you on this one. I've got way more tape than you, man.
Wow. Love a little infighting here at London is Blue Podcast HQ.
We're just rooting for him to do well, and like we both be happy if he.
But I want it for him
the
more.
Lone Star Hero of the season.
I mean, that's really where it comes down to is how bad do you want it? Look, Lewis is fantastic. Nick, appreciate a little bit of variety though.
Yeah, well, the answer that I have is the correct answer, and you guys just totally glossed over it, even though I was last to put my answers into the sheet here. Yeah, I think Cassidy could be great. I think Lewis Hall could play some minutes, but probably won't play all of the minutes. David Dasher Fofana is going to play Champions League football this year, fellas. He's going to play Champions League football for Union Berlin. He's already scoring goals. He's already getting assists. He could have a breakout year. He could, in the Bundesliga, with the lax defenses that exist in that league and his raw talent, could be a 20-goal season for the young man. Throwing it out there. So if he gets a 20-goal season on loan, your boy is ding the winner. So I will rest my case right there. You guys can pay me at the end of the session. Thank you.
Look, goals are by far the hardest part of the game. Why people get paid the most to do it. He's off to a great start. This, honestly, I don't think a lot of us, when it happened, were like, oh, interesting. Then we started to realize when the pieces came together, like, this is actually really exciting. Let's hope it works out and see how it goes. But I think there's probably a good sign that a team in the Champions League wanted him. And I feel like he's going to play a lot. So high potential on this one. It definitely makes sense. Iron Man, the ASPE Award, most minutes played. Last season was Kepa, but it was Havertz. When I looked at it doesn't really matter, right? They were both up there.
You trailed off there. Was there a 9
Yeah, I didn't really want to get into it, but I'm pretty sure Kai had more minutes than Kepa. But that was just Premier League, so maybe full all competitions is different. So I'm going to give you the benefit. I'm going to give you the benefit here. I think it's Nkunku. Hear me out. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was like, bro, have you gone off the deep end?
It is worth a sub on YouTube just for that. Go ahead, Dan, before Nick and I help you with the answer.
Do the slow-mo in on my eyes going, whoa.
Look, I tend to think there are positions on the pitch that don't regularly get rotated out in terms of, look, they're playing once a week. If you get the right situation in your defensive lineup, I don't think Pochettino is going to want to change that for the majority of the season. I do think he will change things at the top of the pitch occasionally, which is why I don't know if I could buy the stock that you're selling for this answer. But I think, to me, Levi Colwill is the guy in center back who is going to get the most amount of minutes in this side and basically be an immovable object in the starting 11.
Yeah, I just changed my answer, but that's okay because I forgot that Enzo Fernandez existed there for a second, and there's nobody who's going to be taking his spot out of the team unless he gets injured. So Enzo Fernandez will be the Iron Man. He basically played every game since he moved to Chelsea last year. Stayed fit. He's going to be fit and firing this year. Enzo Fernandez with the Iron Man award.
I mean, maybe, he's a good shout. He's not fit right now. So the only thing is, I wonder how long it takes him to get to fitness in the beginning of the season.
Oh, he's fit. He's fine.
He played all of 73 minutes in the 18 matches he played when he came.
My man jogged in preseason. It was great. Like, good for him. Get back at it.
It's called working smarter, not harder, baby.
Nico Jackson. And here's why. Who else? Literally, who else is going to play up there? Nkunku was our false 9. He gone for a bit. Jackson is hungry. He's young. He will play every single minute he can. And again, one match a week, no problem. Like, he can handle that load easily. I think it's going to be Jackson. Nope, no dissent. Love it. All right. Well, we're going to take our first ad break. When we get back, super sub. Who's going to be impact off the bench? Thank the sponsors. We'll be right back. Okay. Can I get a clarification on this super sub? Is there a reason why we doubled down on this?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows?
I was just asking.
I threw an extra super in there for no reason. Whatever.
Okay. I just wanted to give you a chance to explain yourself if needed, but we didn't. You didn't have one last season. That's a fun game. Who do you think would have better super sub last season?
Connor?
Okay. Connor coming in for 20 minutes and getting a yellow card. Gallagher?
I feel like maybe Ruben. It was a tough season. Can't even think about it. Some of our subs
I
were
burned it out of my brain.
Yeah.
I don't want to go backwards.
Tough. Anyways, I like how we were given options who it might include as if, we weren't able to figure it out on our own. Dan really stacking the deck here. I'll go. I said Maatson or Madueke. Hear me out because I know we're always about picking one. It's whoever doesn't start. I think one of those two are starters. Maatson probably has the leg up because he played in preseason. Madueke is coming off an injury. So I think that Madueke will be the super sub in this situation.
So in your team, Sterling is still a left winger?
No, I don't think Sterling starts. I think you got Mudryk on the left and Mats on the right. Or Mats can play on the left and Sterling can play on the right. But I don't think Sterling starts.
Can I ask for a quick prop? Can I just ask for a quick prop on Raheem Sterling starts this season? What's the line you're going to give on that?
20.
It's
20, okay.
Premier League matches, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
I would just go all comps for the sake of it. All comps.
He had 23 starts last season, and we had more in 28 matches that he was available for.
So maybe it's like 18 then? Do we drop it a little bit?
Again, I think like you could rotate last season because we were playing every 3.5 days, right? This season we're not. So I think that once people get locked in, as long as the results are there, Poch isn't going to change it. You're not going to change a hot hand. So
I got the line. It's 19. It's half of the Premier League games. Does he start half of the Premier League? 19. Over under.
Gosh, I think he's going to. I just don't know if that is super like an exciting answer. I think it's going to be what happens.
I think that number 10 is going to be where he plays now without Nkunku.
Yeah, that is a good call. That there's now an open spot. So yeah, I'll go over in that sense. If you get Caicedo, I could see Connor taking that 10 though. Interesting.
I could too. That's a real, I mean,
all right.
I said over.
I said over, right. So I'll stick with it. Dan, interesting.
Super sub.
Interesting one here, but I'll let you present your case.
Look, because I'm continuing my narrative that Reece James is the player of the season. He's the leading assister. He's the comeback player of the year. He is the captain of the team, and so he will start the vast majority of matches. Even though during preseason, this player impressed the hell out of a ton of people. The videos we post on TikTok of our clips from the sidelines do mad numbers when this player is featured. It's Malo Gusto who will be the super sub because he is going to help keep Reece James fully fit because he's going to get 20 minutes, maybe a game, and maybe gets the occasional start in our domestic cup games as well. But I think that he is the one who could add some real just pizzazz on the right-hand side when he gets an opportunity to come into the match.
He's going to add pizzazz? What's he, a painter? What are we doing?
XP, baby.
Expected pizzazz. Classic stat. I'm going to go a little off the beaten path here because I asked you guys this question. Do we think this player is going to stay at Chelsea? Again, uncertain whether this happens or not. If he does stay, Carney Chukwuemeka, otherwise known as Carnes, to friends and family members like myself, he is sneaky number 10 candidate for Liverpool, and I think is a big body that can help control games a little bit better in and around the box late in games. So I think if you need a super sub, I'm going to go Carnes. A little sneaky off the radar pick there.
Well, I think there's a lot of twists in this one. The hard part is with this one, you just don't really. I think we have an idea where the starting lineup is, so you can try to pivot from there. We still don't even know who all is going to be here. It'll be our luck that Matson's gone, Carnes is gone on loans or whatever, and then we end up sitting here and Dan wins by default because Malo Gusto had 17 substitute minutes or something silly at the end of the season.
Two greatest words in the English language. Default.
Yeah. The sweet taste of default,
Yeah. Something. All I don't think that that's going to happen. But hey, if it does, I'm sure you'll remind us, Dan. So nice of you. Domestic banana peel. So this is one of the real trophies that we pulled back from the first part and put in this one. It's the dancing banana that we're all aware of from the GIFs. Who trips us up? Last season was Southampton. That's relegated Southampton.
2 losses.
To us.
2 L's. 2 fat L's from Southampton to us.
Look. You got to look at the bottom half of the table because that would be a banana peel, right? Like, I don't think anyone's be like, yeah, Man City's a banana peel.
Nope.
The hard part is you got 3 new teams. So do you put any respect on them? Meh. And then you got to look at who was at the bottom of the table, which is like your Evertons, your Nottingham Forest, your Bournemouth, West Ham, Wolves maybe. You know what's concerning about saying Wolves, Nick?
What?
They were one place below us.
I don't think that will be the case this year, luckily.
I don't know where we want to draw the line, but that's the context for it. So, Nick, do your damage. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I was originally going to go with one of Dan's picks because he has 2 for God only knows why when we specify 1 here. So, but given that one of our most disappointing results last year was against Everton, and Sean Dyche is still the manager of Everton, I'm going to go with Everton as the domestic banana peel. They're Burnley without that extra grit, but somehow still have done one over on us. Yeah, I don't know how they get any points next year. I think it's going to be a travesty for them, but yeah, somehow we're going to slip up against them. I can just feel it.
Gross.
Yeah.
So I was torn between Bournemouth and Burnley.
Do the right thing, Dan.
Teams that begin with B. Like,
Do
it
the
just
right thing,
definitely
Dan.
is. The thing is, we beat Bournemouth twice last season. In one of our worst seasons ever, we managed to beat them. And so I feel like even though we finished above them, so you could technically consider them a team of a poorer performance level, of a lower talent level, I feel like I have to give it to Burnley, like just because of the past traumas that they've inflicted on us. I feel like this is the trauma award as well. Burnley has left a lot of trauma on us as supporters, and I'm going to go with them.
I agree with that. Of those 2 choices, Burnley is the correct option.
Well, for another flair and variety, Nottingham Forest. The way
It's a really good pick, to be honest.
The way they fought to stay up at the end, and just the wild season they had, I'm actually bummed that they didn't sign another 20 players this season. It's been a little boring from them. It sounds like they're picking up Matt Turner and Dean Henderson for goalkeepers, but yeah, we just got to be careful with this team. I was thinking about Brentford a little bit, but like without Ivan Toney, Raya going to Arsenal, I'm like, they're just not going to be a better team than last season. So I thought I'd pivot and go with Forest. That's what I'm thinking.
I think it's a good pick. I think these are the 3. As I was looking at the entire league, I don't see, like Brentford might have been a sneaky one in there, but I think they're just going to be a little worse this year without Toney, without Raya.
For sure they are.
Brighton is like too obvious of a pick. You don't want to go too obvious. Fulham could have been a pick, but I think they're going to be a lot worse this year.
Mitrovic is still potentially leaving, which would cut them down.
Decimate them. I mean, it's like, and then you get into teams that are markedly better than us. It's like Arsenal's not going to be. It's not a domestic banana peel. They're not worse than us, right? So
didn't I talk about West Ham? I mean, they had a tough season minus that Conference League. They've sold Rice. They just picked up James Ward-Prowse, probably Harry Maguire, looking to do some more deals. You just don't know what you're going to get out of that team with David Moyes, though. Either they might be they might actually really struggle.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, no banana peels there. We're going to take our last ad break. When we get back, one who got away, the best ex-Chelsea performer. We had so many that have left, so this award snuck it in there. Thank you to sponsors. And we'll be right back. Yeah, a little bit weird when we got to this point in the script, Dan, but I get it. A lot of players have departed the club. Matt Law even saying on our last pod, up to 10 more leaving, which is crazy to think about. I think that when we did the squad numbers, there was like 29 players that had numbers, but that included like a Lewis Hall, Mason Burstow, I think 2 young goalkeepers. So there's like 4 that'll
Sure.
come off easy.
From liquidator to liquidation. That's what's going on right now.
Wow.
All
Are
right.
you proud of yourself about that? You
you see that smile?
You're really happy about that? Okay. Fascinating.
I am.
Huh.
All right, so our audience said 52% Christian Pulisic, 25% Mason Mount, 14% Kai Havertz, and other at 9%. I don't know if I'm going to regret most of those leaving at this point. They made a decision, they're going to do it. I actually think like where it'd be nice to have this type of player back in the side. I feel like it's just a jack of all trades. It's a Swiss Army knife. I think Ruben would have been great cover for a lot of different positions, had that Premier League experience, definitely was not a person who was going to be upset by just being a contributor and not a starter. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's the one that I think is going to do really, really well this season in Serie A, playing for AC Milan. And I think we'll look back and be like, man, it'd be nice to have him back. I mean, like, he's doing great stuff. Like, look at him go.
The people really think Pulisic is going to be the one. I could see that, by the way. I could see him blowing up in Serie A, to be honest. I think it's Mason Mount, the player who no one wants to hear the name of anymore. But I think he's going to be great with United. I really do. I think he'll probably be the one.
I think that I'm surprised by Pulisic. The amount of like now we're respecting him big time. Like, hey,
now that he's
oh
gone.
jeez, with us,
What a
no,
player.
not a good player. Without us, great player. A little bit ironic. I went with Kovacic. He's gonna win trophies, right? He's gonna look so good in that city.
There are rumors that he has done his ACL. So just FY. You may pick a back. I will give you picking a backup.
That's
if you would
unfortunate
like.
because he doesn't have to do anything. He just has to jog around and pass the ball.
I agree with you. Apparently, it was a training thing, an unconfirmed rumor, by the way. But I will give you the backup just in case, because I am a kind adult and I don't want you to go through another David Luiz situation, another blunder.
I mean,
if you
this
will.
is far from that, but I hear you. But either way, my logic stands. He's going to look so smooth in that city system if he's healthy, and it's going to look easy. And we're going to be like, wow, we didn't get this player. Completely different, right? It's just different there. The backup one, I think emotionally it's Mason, but I'm really hoping United struggle. And if preseason is anything to go by, they're in for a long season. But the irony is it depends on how this all shakes out, if Kepa goes or not. But just for a little shithousery, I'll say Mendy, because I think we still need a goalkeeper. And that's why we're going to miss him.
Yeah, I agree.
When
with that.
N'Golo Kante plays a full season in the Saudi league
Yeah.
with no injuries,
I thought about
there's
that.
your answer.
Yeah, but you're just like, well, we're getting Caicedo, so who cares? Master of the Dark Arts, as we love to break out and put out there. Nico Jackson, was that editorial direction or freedom for Ishan?
That was freedom for Ishan.
Reece James and Enzo Fernandez.
Taking a few liberties on this one, Ishan.
I tell you what, Enzo Fernandez at 32%, Reece James at 28%, and Nico Jackson 38% and 2% of other. 32% Enzo? I mean, Dan, you agreed with the people, or you just copy pasted. Maybe it wasn't Ishan after all.
It's like when they
Look,
ripped the mask off of the Scooby-Doo villain. It was Dan all along.
Shock! I think that Enzo to me represents I think Reece is just going to have to back off a touch this year. He's the captain now. He's wearing the armband. You know, he can still get up to some stuff, but he's kind of got to maybe do it a little bit more under the radar, which actually might indicate that he could be a better version of the Master of the Dark Arts than he's been previously. I just feel like we saw a couple of glimpses of it from Enzo last season. I feel like he's got an opportunity to do it, maybe playing a little further forward, maybe getting fouled or fouling a little bit more freely tactically to disrupt the game. I don't know. It's more of a feeling than any type of anecdotal data that I have. It's a gut feeling. It's a Nick Verlaney type of decision-making process.
And he's never wrong, folks. Much like I am not wrong here, if Reece James is the captain, he better be the dark arts guy. He better fully assume the role now. He's had years of training. He's applied his trade under some of the best to ever do it. And it's now time to emerge from, whatever training he was in and start to mess around with people. Start to body them off the ball. Start to get in little shit-talking moments with them. Maybe bump a referee again just for fun. I'm just saying it was for fun. If Reece James doesn't do that, I'll be very, very, very disappointed. That's all I'm going to say. Brandon.
Well, Fringe throwing it out there. Malagusto. And here's why. Two ideas I got here. One, you want a bench clear? Malo's in. Malo's on the touchline, John at whoever he needs to from the sideline. He's in it. The other thing is, I think he'll be dark arts for the fact that he's going to get away with frustrating the hell out of players. His ability to just make you so angry as an opponent, I think is really, really impressive. And he can just kind of like nick at you and just death by 1,000 cuts. So I think he's got a lot in him as well that we'll see. And like I said, he's just so clever. He's going to put you in a situation to foul him, and you had no idea about it. So I think he's going to draw a lot of fouls, a lot of cards.
I mean, will they be over the number that Conor Gallagher had last season at 11?
I mean, that is a really good name that wasn't mentioned here.
Ooh, yeah.
Conor Gallagher is a very sneaky dark arts because he looks like a choir boy. He doesn't look, like he's dangerous, but he just loves diving in on tackles. Can't get enough of it.
I think you need to be less obvious to be the master of the dark arts, and I think his tackles are very intentional, very prescribed.
Well, he has the hair, but my man will crunch somebody if he absolutely needs to. So, another one that we've got here, a nice little fringe one is we could have used you. Biggest loan regret or regret, as Dan typed in, which I would never read as the professional I am. I don't
You skipped over a big one there, my guy.
We can't go here?
We could. We'll just go there next. All right.
Yeah.
We're just not. All right.
Yeah. I'm
You know
the
what?
captain.
That's my fault.
I'm the captain. Lone player who we going to miss the most this season. It's weird. The lone board is pretty light. Rules are changing, right? Things aren't as the way they used to be under Emanalo, and a lot aren't finalized. So, according to the website, there's only 6. You could probably throw Cassidy in there. He's all but confirmed, it seems like. But Amari Hutchinson, Charlie Webster, Deion Rankin, Angelo, David Fafana, or Teddy Sherman Lowe. What's your pick, Dan?
Well, I feel like just with all the midfielder noise going on right now, I feel like, I don't know, there might be a risk that Andre Santos goes out on loan. Like, I know that doesn't feel right, but if we're talking about, hey, we're going to bring in Lavia, Caicedo, we've also still linked to Tyler Adams as well, and like those seemingly are all progressing, and that might cause a need for a loan like someone like Andre Santos. I think that would be disappointing, and you might feel like, man, that we really could have used him playing further forward. I think it will end up being Lewis Hall, because I think at some point during the season we're going to need the deputy left back, not named Mark Cucurella, and that is going to be an unfortunate moment when we are missing that or have to start him regularly this season.
Again, manufacturing scenarios to fit your argument. Well played.
Yep. Classic
I'm
Dan moment.
explaining the reasoning, like the reasoning for why I think we would regret this.
Classic Dan to go, pick one. Here are 3 options.
Man.
Yeah, I'm going Hall. I'll do the job and just pick one. I think that at some point we're gonna have a podcast, and Jake, Eshawn, you guys can clip this where we go, God, if only we had Lewis Hall today, and then that will mean that this award is complete.
I know. I think Ian Motson covers up a lot of that this season, though. But at the same time, if Cucurella continues on trend and it doesn't get better, then yeah, Chilwell's out. We are gonna say that, because maybe Motson's cooking as a left winger, right winger, maybe even a cam. We saw all in preseason. And so when you look at the rest of it, you don't really know how it's going to go. But, Nick, I'll play off your earlier one and say DDF, see Fofana, because if he's banging a minute in Berlin and maybe we're not, of course you would want a player like that. So I'm going to stretch for that one a little bit. But, again, if those parallels line up, then absolutely we would almost wish that we had DDF. So
I respect that.
All right, the last one that we've got before a final wrap with a little game. Didier Drogba Big Game Hero Award. Who will show up when the team needs them, a la Wembley? Cyrus Rogers from Discord bringing this one in, bringing the heat. Big game player. Nick, you said Reece. He's had some goals. He can score penalties. When the pressure's on, he's your man?
The title is a little misleading because I think when everyone thinks of Didier Drogba, of course, they think of big goals and big games, right? But what it is the Big Game Hero Award. Who will show up when the team needs them the most? And based on previous performances, and we have a catalog of them in that Champions League run, Reece James becomes a superhuman in those matches. He doesn't allow Phil Foden to get by him in the Champions League. He doesn't allow Raheem Sterling to get by him in the Champions League. He is Hulk smashing people all over the place. He's maybe assisting. Perhaps he's even scoring. Who knows? But I do believe that Reece James is the lock of locks when it comes to big game hero.
I mean, it's tough, Dan. We haven't had a lot of big games recently. You mean you had the Champions League, right? You think about Dortmund in the knockout round.
Yeah.
But in the last couple seasons, I mean, you have to go back to the Champions League really for the big one. We obviously lost the FA Cup final before that. I don't know.
The definition for big game this season is going to be taking points off of those top 4, top 6 teams, the individual teams that are going to challenge us for the positions that we want. And so I think in those games, the player that we're going to look to change the game, to put us ahead, to make magic happen, it's got to be Nick Jackson. Like, it has to, like, if we're saying he's going to be the leading scorer, if we're saying that he is going to absolutely be the guy, number 15, the future of striking at Chelsea, it just has to be him. Like, I love the Reece shout because that just further reinforces my whole narrative that I mentioned on the earlier podcast.
Each other. That's what we're doing. We're nice little overlap here, Dan.
Man in the mirror.
Brandon's going to go in Kunku, obviously.
I mean, of course I thought about it. Why not? Like, penalty late in a game.
It'd be a good shout.
A goal, an
knockout
assist.
round of an FA Cup, maybe.
Because I think that, like, Drogba had the catalyst card on him, right? Like, he would just make something out of nothing. Because I was thinking Enzo, because I'm like, he'll be reliable. He'll be able to create something. But, like, if you're looking for that catalyst and that dynamism, like I do think it's in Nkunku. I think he can do a lot of different things. He'll play the pass, he'll make the run, he'll score the goal. And that's what I'm thinking. Like Nico Jackson, you hope, but you don't really have anything to go off of other than his quotes that he will do something like that. So I think that's why I'm hedging my bets there a little bit. But anyways, that'll do it. Let's wrap the 3-word season predictions. Normally do this at the top, but Dan wanted to save it to the last. So here we are. We've got a few user submissions, which is always lovely when we get to include those, Dan.
We had William Watts with "Don't Potch It."
I like
Playing
that
off of
he had to
Don't Botch It.
clarify what it was as if we didn't know what "Don't Potch It" was off of.
I appreciate that. So context clues are helpful. Flip with the step by step, not one step beyond, but step by step, and then
Great,
silver
great
lining.
90s TV show, step by step, though. Well done.
Well, day by day, you're gonna get it right, Nick. Silver lining with the cups, no chaos, which is a very high order for any season, any team at Chelsea to have zero chaos. I don't know. I don't know if I could describe to that.
I'm currently wearing the Chaos and Trophies shirt, so we'll see. See what happens here. I'm going to go fun, but frustrating. A little fun, you know? I think it will be frustrating. They're young players. It's a U23 squad, basically, now. So there will be stupid mistakes. There will be lapses in judgment. There will be silly things that happen. There will be frustrating moments. But I think all in all, the mood will be a lot different, and that will be refreshing.
I put "can't get worse," really trying to set that base level right away of 12th no mas. We're going up, cut that table in half, get to 6th, 5th, see where we land. But I think there's a lot of different ways you can spin it. It's also like just the biggest unknown. And so it was hard for me to really hone in on anything because new manager, a lot of new players, which means it's a new team. It's going to be new challenges. There's still a lot of changes going around the club, stadium, physio staff, recruiting. There's still changes going to be happening to the team, sponsors. There's just so much going on. It's hard to predict, I think. But yeah, can't get worse. Baseline.
So I went with Chelsea's aura era because you know what?
I don't.
We're back. We are so back. You can feel it in the way other supporters are looking at us right now and saying things, criticizing the signings, getting frustrated that we're getting the players that we want or that they want. Like we've got the edge is coming back, the mentality is there, the belief, the self desire to go out and make it happen. I don't know. I'm feeling really great about this season. I think the aura is good. Pochettino brought that in. He understands what it means to manage at Chelsea. Everything he's saying right now is absolutely perfect. And look, 6 months from now, we may not be saying that, but at least today, the vibes are so damn strong. How can you not be excited for this season?
It is August 9th that we are recording this two-part series. Let's see how we feel on August 31st, nay, September 1st when the window closes. Perhaps we feel great. Perhaps we feel less good than we do right now. Who knows?
Well, I tell you what, one of us is going to be real upset at the end of that window. That's my prediction that I will put money on.
Is Nick ever happy with the window? That's the real question.
The end of this window is so taxing. It is just taxing. It's annoying. I don't like it. I'm ready to start the season. And that happens Sunday, goddammit. Sunday. We are playing Liverpool, and I am so damn excited to see this team go out. I hope everyone who's at the bridge just lifts them an extra half degree. Just like helps them shoot out of the cannon. I hope Nick Jackson gets a hat trick and flips off Mo Salah on the way over. I hope the whole thing is just gangbusters. And you know what? I feel, I'm going to watch with my buddy Joe. I'm very excited about this. But I feel like Chelsea, Liverpool, all we do is draw. It's a draw.
Well, it's going to be fun. Find your local chapter. Find some friends. If not, we've got our Discord group. We'll be buzzing on there as well. It's better with friends. So take it in. Dan, over under on how many matches when Nick's still excited to watch Chelsea.
Oh, that's a wonderful side bet. I think it's going to get late into the season. I actually think he's going to enjoy a lot of this season, and I think he's going to be excited. I actually think it's going to be
great.
I don't know, 30 is the
great.
line. I think 30 of the matches this season.
Look at my 3-word season preview. Fun, but if it's fun, I can deal with the frustrating. If it's like last year where it was soul sucking, like November.
I think we don't have a World Cup in the middle of the season.
Tremendous.
Probably not going to
news.
sack our manager 6 weeks in. So just a couple of changes that'll make all the difference in the world.
Can we all just knock on wood, please? Just whatever bad aura we have, but we just need to clear that out of the room. It's just out. It was like a bad fart. We just need to get it out of the room, knock on wood, do whatever sort of activities you do to avoid a jinx. That's all I'm saying.
Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap there. Hope you've enjoyed this week of content leading up into the Premier League season. Again, CFC Central Sam on the newsletter as well, diversifying the content. A lot of stuff on YouTube. So soak it up. Enjoy it. We're going to be here. Buckle up. Season 10 from us. So until next time, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.